So far in our application, we have written the code in such a way that it's all related to these events. So whenever I click on any of these events, that particular events details will be displayed on our web page. So if you observe in our code, we have written only one module, that is app.module.ts, which is the parent module, and we have declared all the components inside this declarations array, and we have imported these modules, and providers array we have provided the services so far. Now suppose I have a requirement in such a way that I have to include another module inside my project. See, all this comes under one module, that is app.module.ts. I have defined all these components, right? And there is a single module for this, that is a root module, correct? This is the parent module. Now suppose I want to define a separate module which I want to load separately. Means I don't wish to load every time I'm loading this page, every time I'm loading this event, right? So whenever I'm loading all the events, only the events related data has to be loaded on the web page. Now I have another requirement where in case the profile management page, for example, here we can see welcome Harsha is getting displayed, right? On click of this, there should open another page, web page, which will define edit profile window. Okay, there is a page for edit profile where we can define a form inside that Angular form, and we can save the profile information. That is completely independent of this module, right? This is an events module, and this is a profile module which is related to the profile management. So to demonstrate this, let's create a new module inside our application and let's implement it. Okay, let's switch to Visual Studio Code, and inside this, what we have to do now, let's create a new, that is new, completely a new folder, that is user folder. Let me create this from fresh. I'll delete this folder for now. Okay, I'll show you from start. So inside app folder, let's create a new folder inside this with name as user, and inside this folder let's create a new file as profile component.ts. Okay, let's create a new file, profile.component.ts, and as usual, as a basic component, we will define all the required information related to that component. Okay, so import, as usual, we are going to import the component. We are going to import the component from where? Angular core, right? So we are going to import the component from Angular core. Okay, and here I'm going to use declarations array, sorry, use to decorate with component decorator at the rate component decorator, and inside this I'm going to define the template, okay, with backtick, and inside this we are going to specify the some HTML content. So here, since it's profile management, edit your profile will be the heading for this. Okay, I'm going to provide as edit your profile /h1. Okay, I'll provide if class equals, here I'm going to specify some basic things. Okay, and here let me give 6 over here, that's enough. Sorry, 6. And button, I'm going to specify type equals submit, and class equals some bootstrap class, that is btn hyphen primary. Okay, this I'll name this as save button. Okay, slash button. Similarly, I want to define another button over here. Just copy this, and I'll make this as button type equals button, class equals default, btn hyphen default, and I'll call this label for this as cancel. Okay, so I have defined two buttons inside this div class /div. Okay, this is the basic component I'm going to define as a profile component, and here I have to define export class profile component. Okay, that's it. So this is a basic component which I'm going to create, so that whenever we are clicking on that uh, welcome Harsha, it should actually navigate to this profile component page, where it is going to display these two buttons, that is submit button as well as that is save and cancel buttons. Okay, this is a normal profile component I have created. So next what we will do, now we have to separate as a different module. We want to include all this related to profile management into a separate module, and will not include inside app.module.ts. So what we'll do, inside user folder, let's create a new file with name as user.module.ts. Okay, so inside this module I'm going to specify this as a new module, that is ng module, and inside this, as a normal structure, we have to pass imports array, declarations array, providers. For every module this is same. Okay, so whenever I'm creating module, we can make use of this as a basic structure. Okay, so this is imports array, declarations array, and providers array. Okay, we are specifying here, and here this will have export class user module. Okay, and inside here I have to, what I have to import over here, I have to import, in case of normal app.module.tcs, this is a root module, parent module. Inside imports array, we are going to pass browser module in this case, and router module dot for root will be used in this case, since this is the parent module. But in our case, this is a feature module. This is not a whatever we are using here in this case, that is user.module.ts, is not same as this module, because in this module it is a browser module, as well as it is for root, which we have to use for the router module here. But in this case we are going to use as a feature module, that is common module. Okay, common module, and router module dot, sorry, the next line, router module dot, we have to make use of for child in this case. Okay, router module dot for child. Here we have to pass user routes, which we are going to define next. Okay, we'll define that next. And here these we have to import from specific paths. Okay, let's include for now the paths, and then create the required files. Import router module from @angular / router, as usual. Okay, router module from angular / router, and similarly user routes also I have to import user routes from this. I'm going to specify next the file whatever required. For now I'll just specify the part, that is /user routes. Okay, now we have to prepare a file for this, where we are going to define route for this. Okay, let's save this file. Next what we are going to do, we have created profile.component.ts, we have created user.module.ts. So module and component are ready. Next, routes we have to define. So inside this folder, let's create another file which is having the name as user.routes.ts. Okay, so inside this user.routes.ts, we are going to import profile component. Okay, file component from, what is the path of profile component, /profile.component. So this is the path, and here we are going to export the required routes, that is export const user routes. This is the name which we have specified inside user.module.ts, right? This is the name, user routes. So we are going to define that here, equals, and here we are going to pass the array of routes. Okay, with path and component value. So path for this will be, what is the path of the route which we want to specify? We will provide the name for this as profile, since it's related to profile component. Okay, and component for this will be What is the component for this? That is the profile component. That's it. So these are the changes we made. What are the changes we made? We have defined the profile.component.ts, user.module.ts, where we are creating our own module in this case, right? And we have specified user routes over here, and we also need to import profile component over here because we have not declared inside declarations array. That's also very important because whatever we have declared component has to be registered inside user.module.ts, right? So let's register that here as well by providing profile component. So now what we have done, we have imported common module from Angular common, then ng module, then the router module from Angular/router. Then we have to specify user routes, okay, and then profile component from profile.component. Okay, so we imported required components from each of this, and we have defined inside user.module.ts. So this stuff is done. Now what we have to do next, we have to make sure that whatever the module which we are using over here, that is user.module.ts, and specific class to this is user module class, this we have to specify inside routes.ts. okay, inside our main routes.ts we have to specify the path, and we have to load this as a load children we have to use, and we have to use this as a dynamic function where we will use a dynamic import and we will pass this user module inside that. Okay, we will see that in the next video. So for this video we have defined the profile component, user module, as well as user routes. In our next video we will define the routes required for this profile component, and further we will include a link in such a way that whenever we click on this welcome Harsha, this link, it will navigate to edit profile page, and it will load only when that page is loaded. That is, for example, since we have defined user module.ts separately, this module separately, this module has to load only on click of this link. It should not load on click of the main page or when we are on the main page. That we will see. Well, let's cross verify. Whenever we are loading entire events, this particular module which is related to profile management should not be loaded. That we will see in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please like, comment and share this video, and kindly subscribe to my channel in order to watch more videos.